I'm lost without you, I'm lost without you, I'm lost without you, heart broken in two. I don't know what I'ma fucking do, cause my heart here laying into.
This is Nosebag Media, and we're here with
Mackavon.
alright, and Mackavon, where are you from?
Well, I'm from Jamaica originally. That's where I was born, but I grew up in Plantation, Florida. You know what I'm saying? That's where I grew up at. I moved there when I was probably about 4. I was like a toddler type shit. But I moved here, and then that's when they like made me restart like school in a way, because Jamaican school is different. Like the grades are different, so I had to go like to like first grade and shit, and second grade, and start like that over and shit like that. But when I first got here, I was like, I don't know, I was kind of like an outcast. I didn't really fit in with people like that, because like I was foreign to them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have like a different accent and shit like that.
Sure.
And I remember like how it felt. Like I just felt like different and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why. You're coming from, like...
Yeah, that was my first introduction to like feeling out of place with people and shit like that.
I got you. I feel that just in different ways, but yeah, I bet that really was a thing you had to overcome, so...
Yeah, I mean, like, it kind of followed me, like, throughout life and shit. Like, from that basis, from that point on, like, I just didn't really fit in with people the same way.
For sure, I mean, it had to be rough, but...
Yeah.
What is Black Hearted Collective?
Black Hearted Collective, it's something that I started around probably last year. Yeah, probably around last year, late last year. It's like a collective that I'm trying to start of like individuals, like talented individuals, not just like music and nothing like that, but like, all walks of life, you know what I'm saying? Like different art, different spectrums, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
I got like, someone that promotes right now. He does promotion and shit like that. He wants to be like a talent scout and just like promote like artists and shit like that. Then I got someone that like does like, she does makeup and shit like that, and she's done videos of artists. She's been in like, pretty decent size videos in terms of like viewing and shit like that, and just all different types of artists like she's worked with. So, I'm trying to get other people in it eventually, probably like, some producers, some other artists. But, I got to connect with them on like a personal level first.
Yeah, for sure. That's always the first step, because I mean, you can always work together with someone, but if you don't have like that, like if you don't know why you're working with them, then I mean, it's kind of, it doesn't go as far. But yeah, that's dope. Like, because a lot of collectives just focus on like the music and everything, but like it's really cool that you're trying to incorporate like visual art and like makeup and stuff like that and everything. Like
yeah, man. Like I just have like an eye for talent, and like that's really what I just want to put like it on a platform where other people can appreciate it. Like fans of me can appreciate the different people that I put on to the collective.
That's good. That's a good way to start, because I mean, every collective has to start with a leader, So.
Yeah, man. It's like my first time feeling like I'm the leader of like something, but I feel like I have to know how to do it, because I've really been studying marketing for a while now. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I can help people get to where they want to get to.
For sure, that's definitely good. It's good to help others out. And what does Black Hearted mean to you?
Well, Black Hearted, that's an interesting question. I ain't gonna cap. When I came up with that, I was in a dark place. That was around last year. Probably around like after summer and shit like that. I was trying to figure out where to take my music and where to take my brand and my image next. And I was like, okay, I gotta come up with something that defines me, because I felt like I was doing something that wasn't really me. in terms of music and shit like that, and my image and stuff. So I was like, all right, it didn't really come to me like overnight or anything like that. I can't really like say I just sat down and just came up with it. It was like a process. Like I just started like gradually shifting my image into something more that felt like me. I started using black hearts. First it started out as just like, I tell people to comment under my pictures. I'd be like, drop some black hearts. And then I just started like fucking with the whole aesthetic of that. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna just call myself like, black heart, in terms of like describing myself. Like, I was like, I think that describes like my emotions towards like certain things. Because, like when I approach different situations and, react to different relationships that I have with people, or there's friendships or anything in between, I feel like when I get done like a certain way, like when people do me wrong, I just feel like, I react like having a black heart. And it's not saying that like, oh, like I'm having a black heart, I'm being like a mean ass person or some shit. It's just like pretty much saying like it's basically for the youth, you feel me? The next generation to feel like they don't need like someone to validate them, or like, people or some circle or some shit,
Yeah.
You just need yourself. So, when you have like a black heart, basically it just means you're indifferent to people and you just focus on yourself.
I like that, and I really respect that, because like I feel like nowadays people are, especially like the youth, and I mean I am the youth, so I can't say too much, but I've definitely seen this myself, like you said, like trying to fit in with like a circle or something. Like I feel that I've always been the type to like look for validation and like be part of a circle. But I mean, what you said about like being black-hearted, like that's, you really do have to do that to be, like, to love yourself and not just feel like you have to fit in. So I really respect that. I mean,
hell yeah. Like one of the members of Black Hearted Collective, like I told them, when they were going through something, I was like, I don't know, I just told them about what Black Hearted, like I told them I saw them as Black Hearted, and they said that meant a lot to them, and like it enlightened them, and I didn't expect that reaction. You know what I'm saying? So it just shows me how powerful, starting something like that could be.
Just like a symbol, and it's like helps you move forward and with a new mindset. So yeah, I like that a lot. That's really
man, I appreciate it.
Of course. And what were your influences and mindset when you're making Lost Your Mind? Which, by the way, sucked.
I would say when I went into that, one day I was just, because I wanted to drop Iced Out Feelings, but I was having, like, certain things that I had to get around in terms of getting the song finished and finalized, so I didn't really know when I was going to be able to drop it. So I was just like, damn, I don't really want to wait on someone else. Like, I just want to be able to drop, like, a song right now. So, basically, I just started looking for beats, and I looked for, like, I found that beat. It was in one of my playlists, I think. And I started writing to it. And actually, I just, like, freestyle to it, like, because that's usually how I make, like, my songs and shit like that. Like, I'll just, like, freestyle to it. And then, like, I'll record the freestyle, and I'll go back over it and, like, listen to, like, certain parts that I like and shit like that, and then retweak it, like, to my liking, till it sounds how I wanted it to sound. So I got, put my phone on, I recorded my freestyle to it, and I was like, like, that was exactly how the hook went. Like, I freestyled it like that. I'm pretty sure it was word for word. I freestyled it like that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I listened to it, I was like, this shit was dope. And then, like, I just started, like, freestyling different sections of it. Like, the verse was next, and then, like, I did, like, other parts and shit like that. And then when I finally had it together, I hopped on my mic that I got in my room right here, and I just recorded it on Pro Tools. And then I sent it to this dude, you know what I'm saying, and he mixed it. And once he sent it back, I was like, oh shit, you know, this sounds legit. Like, I feel like I could drop this. Like, you know, regardless, it didn't have to be in a studio or nothing like that. Because Juice WRLD recorded one of his biggest hits, you know, in his crib. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Lucid
and
Dreams.
same thing.
In his bedroom.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, same thing with X, man. Like, they recorded their hits in, like, their crib. It's nothing, you know, to record your shit in your crib as long as you have a powerful, you know, direction with it. Yeah. And that's really all it takes.
Exactly. I mean, and like Nick Mira, he started producing in his bedroom. So, like, it's more about, like, the passion and the talent than, like, having the tools, you know. I mean, because we have most of the tools we need to, like, do whatever we need to, you know. So
yeah, you're absolutely right, bro. And so once I had the song, I didn't really sit too long with it. I felt like it was ready. And at that same, like, I think it was like a day or two later, I made sure to tell people, or I, like, uploaded it onto, you know, my distributor. And I was like, okay, this is when I'm gonna release it. And then afterwards, I just started promoting it and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That was my mindset with it, man. Really.
Well, that's pretty good. It came out really good for sure.
Appreciate you, bro. I'm glad you fucking with it, dog. Okay.
Sure, it's a fire. And next one is very specific. And Lord knows you said skeletons in the closet and birds in the attic. What does this mean to you?
Oh shit, that's a good line to pick out. Because I feel like that line was definitely, like, very meaningful to me when I wrote it. Like, when I wrote that song, in general, I was very angry because, like, you know what I'm saying, I was going through, like, shit. Like, I was going through depression and shit like that, and you know, I was working this job at the time where this manager tried to get me, like, fired, and then he ended up getting me fired from the job because he was just weird. So I was just like, man, whatever. You know, I wrote it as, like, a diss song towards people like him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, look, I grew up silent, stay to myself. You know, and the way it started out, it was basically directed towards him. You know what I'm saying? And the shit where I was saying, only my dad was wearing, like, could wear camouflage was because, like, my dad was a soldier in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? So I was, like, shouting out my dad, and I was saying, like, if you acting shady or you trying to blend in, you can't. Only my dad could wear camouflage. You know what I'm saying? So I remember that line also stuck out to me. But when I wrote the thing about the skeletons in the closet and the birds in the attic, you know, when I be writing songs like that, like, I'm very intricate with, like, my wordplay and shit. Like, I like using, like sayings, like, shit that people say. Like, people always say, like, they got skeleton. If you listen to the whole song, it's a bunch of sayings, like, in the whole song. I don't know if people even notice. It's just a bunch of sayings. But, like, a common saying is, like, you got skeletons in your closet, right?
Yeah.
And it's, like, basically talking about, like, shit that you got inside that you don't want the world to see, or not even that you don't want the world to see, but, like, you're afraid of, like, talking about certain things, you know, to people because of how it might come across. So that's basically what I was talking about at the time. I was like, damn, you know, I got skeletons in my closet, but at the same time, you know, I also got birds in the attic. And what that mean to me, what that means is, like, you know, I got shit going on in my head at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm judging, like, the feelings that I feel. I'm like, oh shit, you know, I got these skeletons in my closet, but I also got birds in the attic, so I'm judging myself. You know, I'm just, like, all of the shit that's going on inside, like, in my heart and my soul. So it's all connected. It's all like a cycle, and it keeps you track of the cycle.
So it's like a projection. Like, you're scared of how it will come across to other people.
Exactly.
It's like an inverse thing. Like, you're scared to, like, open up about it, but at the same time, like, if you don't, then you're just gonna keep on judging yourself for it, and it's just gonna stay inside and get stronger. So yeah, I see what you're saying for sure.
Yeah, that's exactly how I see it.
I like that.
Appreciate you, bro, for even, like, you know, picking that line out.
Of course, that song's I've been fucking with that song. I don't know how long, but it's just really good. And okay, next one is what was the filming of the Another One video like, and where did you film it?
You kind of broke up. You said, where did I film it?
Yeah, and like, how was the filming of it like?
I filmed it in Fort Lauderdale. It was like I picked out this spot, like it's like a really like, it's like a place where it's near the beach, kind of. It has like trains and shit that go through it, and it's just like a really urban atmosphere and shit. Like a lot of people go there to party, because it's by the beach, and they got clubs and shit like that. But I just picked it up because like the architecture and shit, like the buildings and shit like that. There's not really a lot of architecture like that where I live, so I decided to pick out that particular place. Also, because my friend recommended it, the one that's in the video with me. He was like, yo, like there's this parking lot that you could do like the scene that you're talking about, because I had like a really big concept, for the video.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted it to be very specific. So I didn't want to be disturbed while I was doing the concept, even though ironically we did get disturbed while doing it. You know what I'm saying? We're doing like the scene in the parking lot where like me and him are like meeting up and shit. And luckily we got it filmed. But like they told us to leave, like the security told us to leave. So after we got that filmed, we had to basically find another like spot that kind of looked like similar or some shit, or just like something that would convey the rest of the story to people logically. So we found like this like spot behind like this, I think it was like behind this bank or something like that, and we parked up there, and we were basically just doing like the rest of the scenes like right there, because like we're doing some like risky shit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
sure.
We had like a car, like a rental car, and like we had like the car was supposed to be a police car and shit like that. So we just did that video. We said, fuck it, you feel me? Because we just didn't give a fuck, bro. We just had to get like the concept across, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it was very important to me for people to see like that it like visually represented like that it's a police pulling up, like a policeman pulling up, and like scoping out us and like scoping out what's going on. And it does reflect like my life. Like that song reflects like things that I go through, and the video and the whole feel of it, like where I'm talking about like depression and like taking medication for it and anxiety and shit like that. It's all like a reflection of me as a person. So when people go watch that video, it's not like I'm talking about something that I don't go through. So
it's really personal.
Yeah, it's just like I wanted to paint that picture for people, and not only paint a picture of like addiction to like medication or anything, but like paint a picture like, oh, if you feel like you're trapped in a cycle of anything, regardless of what it is, like love or being attached to something else, you're not alone, so it's just really, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's really powerful, because I mean, once you like sink into the hole of like thinking that you're alone, then it's hard to get out of that, because you kind of just you never like float, you just sink more, and that's powerful, because
yeah, man. So yeah, basically that's why I wanted to make the video, and I'm glad that I got the opportunity to do it, because there was a lot of things I had to pull off to go to do it. So
it seems
pretty proud
like
of myself.
It's crazy. But,
yeah.
Hey, I mean, it came out well, so.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Of course. And let's see. What does the name Mackavon mean to you, and where did the inspiration for it come from?
I mean, it means like multiple things. It's all a combination of things. It comes from like my real name, like my first and last name. I'm not gonna say what my name is or anything, but it comes from that, and it also comes from like my nickname. I'll say that like my mom like nicknamed me Javon, but like that's not my real name. Like it's just like in Jamaica, like they'll give you like two names, like a house name and like a real name and shit like that. So she really liked that name, so she decided to call me that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And growing up as an artist, like I looked up to like Tupac and like his whole message and shit like that. But anyway,
That's
bro.
cool.
So basically, Machiavelli, the reason it's like important to me is because like I just like the symbolism and the reasoning behind like why he picked the name. Like it was like I think it symbolized like him like restarting and like having like a rebirth of himself. So like it just symbolizes that to me, like being able to like start over or like whenever you choose, be able to readjust your life.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, Machiavelli. One day I was sitting in class, like a math class, and I was like just thinking I really needed to be able to, you know, make a name that actually reflected me as a person, right?
Yeah.
And before I had a different rap name, and I didn't really relate to it or connect to it or anything like that. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna make sure I come up with a name that I don't hate and I really fuck with it, and like I would never feel like I need to change it regardless of how old I get, and it never gets out of touch. So that was pretty hard for me, you know what I'm saying? I went through a lot, like a whole big process. Like I need to come up with this name, like because I felt like I didn't have like if I didn't come up with a name. So one day when I was like, fuck, bro, I'm just gonna come up with it. And the desk. So okay, Machiavelli, like my name to Machiavelli, and then like I got my nickname Javon, Machiavelli,
Mm-hmm.
okay, Mackavon. So I got that part, but I just didn't know how to spell it, you know, to make it look. So I finally came up with TK, like, you know, MAK or like else or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like it looked weird to me, so you know, as a singular name.
Mm-hmm.
As like moniker, that's like that works for me. So came up with that. I asked a bunch of people, and I was like, "Yo, what do y'all think about it?" And everyone fucked with it. So
Right, there you go.
they're like, "Yo, that's shit's hard." Like that's basically the story behind it.
I got you. It's pretty creative, like combining like a famous artist and like your house name. That's pretty.
And also, I forgot to say that it's also like a name for something in Jamaica. Like Maca actually means like thorns and shit like that. Like, you know, like thorns that come out of plants and shit. So I just thought, you know, if I could relate it to my Jamaican roots as well.
Yeah.
It all tied together.
That's sick.
Yeah, it has multiple like things. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's good. That's definitely good. And it's like it like the name, like it looks clean on paper because like. Because you can have an idea for a name or like a moniker in your head, and when you look at it, it just looks weird. But like Mackavon looks like clean and and I can see what you mean.
Yeah,
Like,
it's very very angular and shit like that. Like it has like, you know, a lot of triangle, you know, so it's very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah, for
Really
sure.
know what you're saying.
Sure. And what made you realize that you wanted to pursue rap?
Alright, so basically at age 12, that's when I got inspired to start music, to start rap. That's when I got inspired because I watched Get Rich or Die Trying at 12 years old. That was a movie my mom had. And she was really into 50 Cent. So when I watched that movie, like I just admired the lifestyle. I was like, yo, like just like him coming from nothing, and the movie symbolized him coming from nothing and like, you know, building himself up. So I was like, if I could do what he's doing, then I don't know. I just felt like as a kid that was amazing to me.
Yeah, that is.
And I also watched like the movie. Yeah. Yeah. Watched the movie Ray.
Ray.
And then playing as Ray Charles. So like both of those biopics, you know, kind of influenced me, and music.
I got you.
Yeah, but hard for that.
Yeah, that's true.
Write my fucking feelings on the paper, write down every fucking thing I feel. Glad you want my life now. How could you do me like that? I never understood that.